Do you know that saying, if you want something done, ask a busy person? Saying yes to everything is the fastest road to burnout. If you are a teacher who says yes to everyone and everything, then it's time you prioritised your own time and your energy, because not everything is as important as everything else. Demands on your time and energy are not created equal. We learn as children that saying yes is what a helpful, kind, and caring person does. Saying no is actively discouraged and often punished. We even have words like oppositional and defiant to describe young people who say no too often. Teachers notoriously overcommit because they are caring, helpful, and kind people. It's part of the reason why you became a teacher. Social psychologist Susan Newman, in her book 365 Ways to Say No and Mean It, gives valuable insight into why we don't say no and the detrimental effect on our well-being of endlessly saying yes. In this video, I will share with you the reasons why you may be afraid to say no and what the repercussions are for your well-being if you continue to say yes when you would be better off saying no. My name's Mari Amaro, and I'm the principal presenter at the Highly Effective Teacher. I'm a teacher and I've been supporting students and teachers for over 30 years. I'm passionate about teacher wellbeing. Improved teacher wellbeing means improved student wellbeing, and that contributes to better academic and social outcomes. If you'd like to learn more about teacher wellbeing, please subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so that you receive notifications of all our videos. When you subscribe, that helps to support our channel and means that we can keep making these videos to get information and support out to more teachers. So, what stops us from saying no? We often believe that the repercussions of saying no will be catastrophic. You might feel bad saying no to your boss, to your principal, because that's the person who controls your workload, your paycheck, opportunities for promotion. And you may feel that if you say no to your boss, you won't be given any other opportunities, and it may even jeopardise your job. You might feel bad to say no to co-workers, to other teachers and colleagues, because you want to be seen as helpful and a team player, and you want to be supportive and you want to be accepted. You may feel bad saying no to students and parents. Perhaps you fear losing their respect. You might be viewed as lazy or not doing your job properly. You may feel that if you say no to social events with friends, that they'll stop inviting you. You also don't say no because you may have MOFO and be scared of missing out. Actually, that's FOMO. And you might feel bad saying no to a partner or family or kids because you love them. And you are afraid that maybe they'll think you don't care or they'll be hurt when you refuse to do something. The reality of saying no is rarely as bad as you think. The world will not end, your family will not stop loving you, and your boss will not fire you just because you say no. The most likely outcome is that people will respect you more, know where they stand, and you'll feel better about yourself and how you spend your time and energy. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. When I realised that I don't like to say no because I don't want to be rejected, I don't want people to think less of me, I don't want to be thought of as uncaring, I also realised that I was putting a lot of store into what other people think of me, and that my own lack of self-worth could lead me to say yes to things that I didn't want. Maybe saying yes to having a drink, to dinner, to a job, saying yes to a relationship, a marriage, a lifestyle, just because I valued what someone else thought more than how I valued myself. I valued the opinion of my father, my partner, work colleagues and friends over my own opinion, and saying yes when I really wanted to say no, or sometimes didn't even know what I wanted to say, has led to some really poor life decisions. But I have learned that I can say no, and I'm still learning that I can say no and feel good about it. The addiction to saying yes has been called the disease to please. So why we don't say no? As I just mentioned, you care about what others think. Often we say yes to things that aren't really a priority because we don't want people to think that we're a jerk. But guess what? Some people will think you're a jerk anyway, no matter how nice you really are. So stop worrying about what other people think and just say no if that's what you want to say. You don't recognise your own value. Perhaps you don't see your worth and you judge yourself too harshly and then feel that what you want doesn't matter. What you need to realise is that your problems do not define you, and it's okay to make mistakes, that you are valuable and necessary, and you have something to offer that no one else has to offer. Perhaps you don't say no because you are conflict avoidant. You don't say no because you have a tendency to avoid conflict or confrontation or even unpleasant conversations. When you constantly avoid that conflict, it makes your life harder because you're not facing up to those difficult situations and speaking the truth. And your truth may sometimes be the word no. Perhaps you don't say no because you need to be needed. You end up saying yes to others because it makes you feel needed, and being easy to get along with and amenable gives you feelings of being loved and liked. But there are consequences of being a yes person. And some of those consequences include stress overload. Saying yes to everything can lead to overwhelm and stress. And pretty soon your calendar is full to bursting and your to-do list has become like the never-ending story. Trying to please everyone is impossible. So you're better off just pleasing yourself. Saying yes too often can lead to stress and frustration because people who say yes all the time often feel annoyed with themselves for saying yes, and then they feel resentful or angry towards other people who they may perceive as taking advantage of them. If you're interested in learning some ways to deal with stress and overwhelm, please check out our video where I give some helpful tips on how to manage the inevitable feelings of stress that come with teaching and learning to manage the demands of teaching. Another consequence of not saying no can be poor performance. All the additional tasks gained from saying yes to other people can take up time and energy and divert you from what you consider to be your most important work. And the added stress can affect your sleep, your work performance, and lead to poor self-care, which might affect nutrition and mean that you develop poor habits like overeating, drinking, and smoking. Can also cause emotional and physical burnout. If you become the go-to person at work, you could experience the following symptoms of trying to juggle too many commitments: being over-emotional, feeling tired, taking time off work, not enjoying work as much as usual, and you may have trouble concentrating. You may also lose sight of your own goals. Time taken up with the numerous demands from others can mean that you lose focus on what you really want. Saying yes to yet another task or doing what someone else wants means that you don't get done what you have planned, which can lead to feelings of lack of achievement and success. And this can also lead to loss of productivity and a sense of purpose. Every time you say yes to a request, you're also saying no to something else that you might accomplish with that time. When you constantly say yes to others' requests, you may lose focus on the tasks and priorities that you value and that give your work meaning. And if your own work is being constantly interrupted by requests from others, and that's impacting your ability to succeed, then that's an indication that you need to say no. For example, if you have a buddy teacher who is always sending you their problem child, and that student disrupts your class, maybe it's time for a rethink. If your faculty head always asks you to do the curriculum work, perhaps it's time for other people to be upskilled. And if you always organise the swimming carnival or the school concert and it impacts negatively on your workload and well-being, it may be time to say no. You may feel taken for granted. If you're the bunny who always organises the social club or birthday cakes at school because no one else does it, there may be an expectation that you will do it. Or it may be taken for granted that you will always do it because you always have. And this can lead to you feeling resentful and unappreciated. Good leaders know how to say no, how to delegate responsibly, and when to take on tasks themselves. And if you're looking to move ahead in your career, being overloaded with work and taking on too much doesn't necessarily show leadership potential, can be an addiction. Saying yes to everyone and everything can become addictive, with you being the rescuer, and this encourages learned helplessness and a sense of dependence in other people, and the dependence is on you. So you need to consider the consequences. When you're asked to do something, what are the consequences to you if you say yes? Especially if you say yes to something you really don't want to do. Will you lose time, energy, self-respect, motivation? There are benefits to saying no. So in considering when and why you may say no, you need to think about what's good for you and stop worrying about what other people think. Most people are so caught up with their own issues mostly they won't remember anyway. And it's better in the long run for you and your relationships with other people to say no rather than to do something you don't want to do or allow yourself to be taken advantage of. To sum up, endlessly saying yes is more detrimental to you than your refusal to do something is to the people who are asking you. Thanks for watching. Say no today. Stay safe and happy teaching.